What is going on, everyone? The way this season has been going for the Houston Texans, I could honestly say, man, I would not be surprised if this coaching staff is fired as soon as the season ends. You're 1-12-1. I could honestly say this is the worst team in franchise history, led by the worst coach and staff I've seen ever in franchise history. And all across the board, it's just been bad, right? This city has checked out of this Houston Texans team. We can no longer fill NRG Stadium. Every home game now feels like an away game. I was there for the previous two, the Commanders and the Browns. Man, for every Texans fan, there was three away fans. We just saw that against the Kansas City Chiefs. We were outnumbered. It felt like Arrowhead Stadium traveled to NRG. But you need to start looking for the future, right? And I would not be surprised if Nick Caserio fires this coaching staff as soon as the season ends. And I would make a video the very next day and say, the Houston Texans need to go out there and hire Ben Johnson, who was the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, to be their next head coach. The way he has this Lions offense currently, they are fun to watch. The creativity is off the charts. They are throwing to their left tackle. They ran a fake punt on their own 20-yard line. The creativity, the energy is there from Ben Johnson. And those are some of head coaching, qualities that you need. More on Ben Johnson. You talk about his resume, right? He's 36 years old, very young. He is getting that Sean McVay comparison. He started his career at Boston College as a graduate assistant. Then in 2011 gets promoted to tight ends coach. And in 2012, this is where he spends his next 7 seasons with the Miami Dolphins. This is where he meets Dan Campbell. This is where he meets Zach Taylor, right? And look at his number of drops throughout the 7 seasons. Offensive assistant, assistant quarterbacks coach, tight ends coach, assistant wide receivers coach, and he finished it off in 2018 being the wide receivers coach for the Miami Dolphins, spreading all across the offense, right? He's had his hand in there, and like I said, this is where he meets Dan Campbell. Pay attention to that. He then gets hired by Matt Patricia when he gets the head coaching gig for the Detroit Lions, and there he is the offensive quality coach. Then we know what happens with Matt Patricia. He gets fired. Dan Campbell takes over. He sees that Ben Johnson is on the staff, and he decides to keep him, right? And he has him as the tight ends coach, and he promotes Anthony Lynn. Well, not promotes, but he brings in Anthony Lynn to be their offensive coordinator last year. Where the Lions had a horrible offense, and then Dan Campbell, he takes, the play calls, and he gives it to Ben Johnson the final 6 games. And the way the Lions offense transformed, it was night and day, right? Their last 4 of 6 games, they scored 17 points and above. Their previous 11, they only did that one time under Anthony Lynn. So the change was immediate from Ben Johnson. He then gets hired that offseason, this offseason, right, this last one, as offensive coordinator, gets the promotion. And this was something that Zach Taylor, who is the head coach for the Bengals, right, he talked about how he even tried to hire Ben Johnson. That's probably why Campbell promoted him, because he knew he's got one of the best young coaches in the league right there on his staff, said Taylor. Why not promote him and help call this offense? So I'm really happy for Ben. I think that's a great move by Dan. He's going to continue to grow with experience as it comes along, like we all have. But again, I can't say enough positive things about Ben Johnson and the role he's going to have there in Detroit. And the way the offense has been going for Detroit this year, the 4th best offense in the NFL. He has Jared Goff playing back like he was with the Rams. A career resurgence in Jared Goff is looking like a top 15, top 10 quarterback. The run game is dynamic. They have 2 good running backs. Their backup, Williams, at one point was leading the league in touchdowns, but the Lions have become a fun team to watch. They're everybody's favorite team now, and Ben Johnson is one of the reasons why, because of it. So the Houston Texans definitely need to take a look at him when you have the number 1 overall pick, right? Or if you still want to believe in Davis Mills, then you want to coach these quarterbacks and get them on the right track. I like Ben Johnson. I think he is going to bring a lot to this Houston Texans team. Y'all guys let me know what you think. As always, go Texans. Y'all have a very blessed day.